If I can have everybody's attention here in the Media Center, we'll start this afternoon of media availabilities off with Chase Elliott, driver of the number 9 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet for Junior Motorsports in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. He'll be running tomorrow for the $100,000 in the NASCAR Nationwide Dash for Cash program. And a really high honor to be joined by his father, Bill Elliott, 2015 class of the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Joining us here, former Brickyard 400 winner. There's some great photos floating around of you and Chase in Victory Lane back when you took that Dodge here to Victory Lane. Can you both talk about that experience? Bill, what you remember of that day, and Chase, what do you remember of that day?
I remember a lot about that day. It was, kind of a unique deal. We kind of came together real well as a team that whole year, and was kind of on a roll. We'd won Pocono the week before and came here and really had a good race car. We'd tested well here. We hit on a lot of good stuff, and just, everything just fell our way that day. And we raced Rusty really hard there at the very end, and it was quite a memorable day. I enjoyed that. I think any win as you get older is much better, and it's just kind of a part of, capped off a really great career of what we had, and all, even starting back in Georgia, on our own versus to come into Ray and running for him those 3 years was a fantastic journey.
Chase, what do you remember of that day?
Yeah, not much. Obviously, I remember going to Victory Lane and being a part of it, and like you said, there's a lot of great pictures to look back on, but heck, I was so little then. It's hard to remember a whole lot from that day.
Well, we'll open up for questions here. Please raise your hand, and we'll get the mic to you. We'll start with Kelly, and we'll come back up to Ron and then go to Chris. Please state your name and affiliation, too, if you don't.
Kelly Crandall from Popular Speed. This is for both of you. In going along the lines of Bill, your win here, and now Chase, you get a chance to run here. What would it mean to have both a win from father and son in Indianapolis? And since, Chase, you were in Victory Lane as a kid, and now Dad's here this weekend.
It meant a lot to me. Obviously, I'd much rather win the race on Sunday here than I had the one on Saturday, but we'll definitely give it our best shot. That's to go along the lines with his win. That would be great. To have won the Sunday race for both of us. But the Saturday race would mean a lot to us. Just to have a win at Indy, I think it would be very huge. This is a place that has a lot of history to it, and I think it's cool Nationwide gets to race here now and have that opportunity to kiss the bricks.
Well, and also it'd be great, to have him do well. But yeah, it's all in time. Whatever happens this weekend, there's another race, and you just got to kind of put things in perspective. And you think about this business, it's a roller coaster, and you got to learn to ride that roller coaster, both the ups and the downs. And it seems like there's more down days than up days, and you just got to kind of learn to balance that and make sure it all works. And come in, do the best you can, have the best attitude you can, run as competitively as you can, and hopefully at the end of the day you end up where you need to be.
Go up here front, the Ron, then Chris, and then the Kenny.
Chase, you're just pretty much starting your career, and you're sitting next to your dad, who's going into the Hall of Fame next spring. Is that going to be a tough hill to climb to catch up to him by the end of your career?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it can be as pressureful or as pressure-filled as you make it. So I don't plan on making it as put a lot of pressure, to try to do that. Obviously I want to do well, and I put pressure on myself to do well and want to achieve my own goals. But to add any because of who my dad is, really, I try not to. I don't go there very much.
Let's go to Chris, then to Kenny. This gentleman right here.
Chase, Chris, NightCatchments.com. JRM has been a part of the Nationwide Dash for Cash for all events so far this season. A, how much focus do you guys put on tomorrow's race to do that? And B, what would you do with the $100,000 if you won it?
I think it's a great incentive. That's a phenomenal program Nationwide does, and I think their involvement in the series is very impressive. For them to step up and do something like that is big, and that's a big opportunity for any team. But our goal in our eyes stay on to try to win the race. If we do that, then we achieve that, the Dash for Cash. So we have one goal, and that's to get the job done tomorrow. And if we achieve that, we'll achieve both. I don't know. Try to go faster.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. Chase, you got 3 wins. You're the points leader. But when you sit down and look at it, where do you feel like you can still improve as a driver? And for Bill, when you look at him, where do you think he could improve?
All aspects, honestly. I don't really think there's anywhere that's perfected. So there's definitely been racetracks that we've struggled at, or I've struggled at personally more than others. So I'd like to fix those and improve the ones that we've even ran well at. So today was not as well as I'd like it to have gone. So I have a lot to learn overnight, and hopefully I can try to fix our problems today and be a little better tomorrow.
Well, I just see, you got to understand it, for not only Chase, but all the rookies coming into this deal. Some of the rookies have more experience than the others. Chase, if you look at, I think Ty Dillon, is this his 3rd time here, I think, for him, I believe. Is that right? I think that's right. And, but you kind of look at it and put it in perspective. For the first time being here, you're asking a lot for these kids. A lot of the guys that are the first-timers here. It's a unique racetrack within itself. It's very temperature sensitive, but you take anywhere you go, and it's, I think you got to give all these guys credit for as well as they've done to this point, regardless of where they're at, what they've done, and the equipment they're in. And I think that says a lot for the kids coming up in this world today as far as their experience level and where they've grown their back roots to get to this point. And I think that's the things that people tend to overlook at this point. I mean, yeah, he's got a lot of experience, but still he's a rookie. Still it's the first time here. And I think sometimes that's overemphasized. And I think that's the things we need to look at and say, okay, you got to get through some of this stuff, and some of the races ain't going to be as good as you want them to be. And I think that's the things you got to look at and put it really in perspective.
Go over to Daniel, then back to Bob.
Daniel McFadden, National Sports Journalism Center. For Chase, how would you describe, your first laps on the track? You were 15th fastest in the first practice and the 13th. How did the track change throughout the morning? Is it difficult to practice during a time of day in which you won't actually be racing?
Yeah, I mean, definitely it's a very cool experience to go out and be able to make laps here at Indy, and I didn't really see a big difference in the racetrack. I'm not good enough to tell you what it does anyways, but the biggest thing I see is when it gets hotter, speeds slow down, and whatever your car is doing, it's going to be that much worse. So just whatever your problem is, I think you're just going to fight it worse as it heats up.
Go to Bob.
Bob Parker, Sporting News. Bill, Chase has often talked about, when we ask about memories of your racing career, he talks about the win here. I'm curious, do you remember anything about Victory Lane here, specifically with Chase being here? And what's it like? Can you compare being in Victory Lane when you win with your son there, and then being in Victory Lane when your son wins and you being the dad?
Well, it's just a whole different world. I mean, you look at it from the things that I did, and the way I looked at it is, you're in the car and you don't think about all the things that could go wrong or all the things that can happen, or if the crew does right, the driver makes a mistake or whatever, and from the standpoint, if I'm looking at it, if I'm driving the car. But then when he's driving the car, it's like, okay, is something going to happen, or is this going to happen, or is that going to happen? And you kind of second guess things. And it's just a whole different spin on what you do. I mean, it's a whole different perspective of how you look at it. And I just try to look at it and, after the race, just try to say, okay, I see, this might could be better, that might could be better, or just kind of FYI, and not really say that, one thing's wrong or one thing's right. And I mean, it's just like what I said a minute ago. Most of these kids are good enough today that, they figure it out. It might take them a little bit of time, but they seem to get it in their own way. And, what I did 5-10 years ago is a whole different world of what it is today. And the cars are different, the tires are different. There's so many things different. And that's the things it's hard to say that, from that standpoint, I can't really help Chase. I mean, he's got to lean on some of the guys in the garage area here that tend to do this week in and week out. But I think I can help him outside the car as far as what goes on around that side. Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah, it was a fun deal. It was a unique experience. You know, there's a picture of us kicking the bricks, and he's standing behind us watching us. He was a little kid then, and it's fun to watch him grow up and be kind of what he is today. It just, you know, just like I said, there's a lot of pressure in this sport, and you just got to learn to deal with it.
Do we have any more questions? We got Daniel. Go to this gentleman right here, and we'll finish up with Ron.
This is for Bill. What do you remember about your first visit to the track, and how much did the track change over the years when you came to race here?
Well, you know, I came here. We did a kind of a Goodyear tire test exhibition, whatever it was, and I think it was '92. We came here, and I thought it was great. I mean, I love a racetrack. The first time I got on it, and it was a unique racetrack to what we run. Reminded me a lot of Pocono, the way you attack it and the way the corners have to be, you know, pretty calculating of what you're doing, and the car's got to be right. I mean, it doesn't matter how good you are, how bad you are, if the car don't do what you want it to do. You know, the problem is there's 4 corners to gain speed, but there's 4 corners to lose speed, and that's the things you got to look at this place. And we came here, and throughout the years, you know, I was good here for a lot of the years. We ran really well in a lot of the stuff, and you know, the evolution of the racetrack really changed. You know, they came here, and we could run kind of off in the grass, and they put rumble strips, and they did this and they did that, and you know, it kind of changed the way the racetrack, the feel of the racetrack, so to speak. But I always enjoyed running here. I always enjoyed this racetrack, and it was a lot of good ride, a lot of fun.
My question's for you, Bill. Is Chase a better driver at 18 than you were at that same age? Obviously.
Well, I didn't start driving. I was like 19 or so when I started driving. You know, so he's done way ahead of me.
And then for Chase, do you feel any pressure? I mean, you're so young, but you're so successful in your rookie season. Is there any pressure? You seems like you're a natural at this.
I'm definitely not a natural, but no, I think there's as much pressure as you put on yourself, and it needs to be the right kind of pressure. The people, you really, not in a mean way, but you really just can't care what people think, and that's just kind of the bottom line. If you want to, for me, I put pressure on myself personally, and that's the only pressure I need to worry about. The rest of it's irrelevant.
We'll finish up here with Ron.
Bill, you've had a little while to think about going into the Hall of Fame. How does that make you feel? What does that tell you that you've been able to achieve?
Well, I mean, I think you look at it and all the folks that helped me get to that point. And I was talking to a boy that used to help us back way early in my career the other night, and I said, you know, I was trying to, you know, make sure all those guys was recognized and all the effort that they put in. And he said, no, he said, you just helped validate what we did. And I thought that was a unique spin by what he said and the perspective that he had on it. And I think that's what it is. I think it's a validation of what all we did, all we accomplished, the hard work that we put into it, and the dedication that we had and the love we had for the sport. And I feel like that it's a great honor to be in the Hall of Fame. There's a lot of good people that need to be in there that contributed a lot throughout their careers, that did what they needed to do and helped better the sport. And, you know, I'm just honored to be a part of the ones that are already in there.
Chris?
This question for both Bill and Chase, mainly into Chase. So there seems to be a lot of pressure from the fans that want to dictate how quick they want to see you move up to the Cup Series or whatnot. Are you going to try to put any emphasis or any suggestion on when you want to move up? And for Bill, do you have any recourse on how he deals with that pressure from the fans that say that he needs to go to Cup now or he needs to go to Cup tomorrow? Is there a timetable that you guys want to see him make that jump to Cup?
Well, I mean, it's not the fans' call, and it's not my call on when that happens. So for either one of us to speculate doesn't do either one of us any good. So the best thing I can do now is I've said this countless times this year. If I can do my job now and try to achieve our goals each week, the future will figure itself out. And you know, beyond that, it's not for me to worry about. Like I said, it's not my call.
So if you got the call to go to Cup tomorrow, you would go? No.
Absolutely. I mean, sure. I think it'd be hard to turn down an opportunity like that, and I think anybody would tell you that.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, we really appreciate you joining us today. Chase, good luck tomorrow on the Lilly Diabetes 250.
Thank you. Appreciate it.